My initial plan for this review was to hold up a Pixel 3 and say something like, this is the Pixel 3a, and then look down at my desk and pick up the actual Pixel 3a and be like, oh no, wait, this is it. And then I would laugh and you would laugh and everything would be hilarious because they basically look the same. But that's not true of the Pixel 3a XL, which is what the Pixel 3 XL would look like in a just universe where deep V notches just weren't a thing. Here it is. But the Pixel 3 and 3a XL are odd ducks. They're basically Pixel 3s with all the fundamentals and a few compromises at much cheaper prices. I mean, the 3a starts at $399 in the US and the 3a XL is only $479. They're basically half the price of their Pixel 3 counterparts. So why? Why would Google release two new phones halfway through its flagship's product cycle? And why these phones? Why these phones with these compromises? Well, to answer that, we have to actually look at the phones themselves. So let's dive in. My name is Daniel Bader, this is Android Central, and these are the Pixel 3a and 3a XL. Both the 3a and 3a XL would be considered mid-range phones if that term meant anything anymore. The 3a has a 5.6-inch 1080p OLED display with a kind of weird 18.5:9 aspect ratio. I say weird because it's taller than the 3. The phone's also larger in every dimension. It's taller, thicker, wider, and it has a larger 3000 milliamp hour battery, which is again something that Google wanted to solve for these newer phones. The 3a XL is even weirder. It's got no notch and it's got a smaller 6-inch 1080p OLED display. So it's perfectly symmetrical, 18:9, and it's also OLED. So the quality of the screens on these phones pretty good. I mean, you won't notice much of a difference. But the 3a XL, it looks a lot like the Pixel 2 XL, which I think is on purpose because Google is acknowledging here that the notch on the 3 XL was not that popular. It was one of the most criticized aspects of that phone. The 3a XL also has a larger 3700 milliamp hour battery, which along with the Snapdragon 670 platform should ensure the longest screen on time of any Pixel phone to date. As I said, the screen on the Pixel 3a XL is really good, but it's got that lower resolution. And it doesn't take holding the phone for very long to understand where Google made cuts in other areas. The phone is plastic. There is no metal on here at all. The buttons are clicky and everything feels basically the same as a Pixel 3, but it's just not metal. As a result, the back is plastic and there's no wireless charging, but you would be forgiven for mistaking the back for glass. I mean, it looks basically like the same frosted glass as on the Pixel 3. I mean, you don't see a lot of plastic phones anymore, but I'm gonna give Google a lot of credit here. They've done it right. If you're gonna make a plastic phone, this is how you're gonna do it. But what you lose in materials, you make up for in another way. The 3a and 3a XL have headphone jacks, which is kind of weird because there seems to be this trend where the lower price version of a phone in a series has a headphone jack and the flagship doesn't. Just look at the Mate 20 and Mate 20 Pro or the P30 and P30 Pro from Huawei, along with some other Xiaomi phones. The screens are covered with Dragon Trail glass on the 3a series as opposed to Gorilla Glass 5, which is also another place that Google saves some money. Okay, so what else is sacrificed here? Well, given the lower price, you'd expect that the internals would not be quite as powerful, and that is for the most part true. The platform here is the Snapdragon 670, which is a really interesting hybrid chip. It has Qualcomm's Cryo cores, and there's 8 of them, but only 2 of them are considered performance cores. The rest are clocked at 1.7 gigahertz, the two performance ones at 2 gigahertz. And the performance overall is more akin to between a Snapdragon 820 and an 835 from a few years ago than the latest generation Snapdragon 845 or 55. But the 670 is actually built using the newer capabilities from the 800 series in terms of AI and imaging. So you're getting a lot of the same features from the Hexagon DSP and Spectra ISP as you'd find in today's flagships. Which brings us to the camera. The 3A and 3A XL share the identical camera hardware to the Pixel 3, down to the image sensor and lens aperture. I mean, this is basically the same camera. And what's even more interesting is that even though these phones don't have the Google Pixel Visual Core, the photos that I've taken are identical. I mean, it's the same camera down to the Pixel. It's amazing. You get the same features, you get night sight, you get great portrait photos, you get top shot, you get motion photos, you get everything that you get on those phones at half the price. There is one sacrifice with the camera, and it's not on the back, it's actually on the front. Google eschews the secondary wide angle camera lens on the front of the Pixel 3 and 3 XL for a single 8 megapixel selfie camera that has no autofocus. So even though the quality is really good, you're not getting that same experience. And that's actually the one thing from the Pixel 3 that I really missed. I love taking those wide angle selfies. They're just fun and really high quality. But I cannot overstate just how big a deal the camera is on the Pixel 3a series. I mean, this is by far the best camera that you're gonna find on a sub $500 phone. So much of the Pixel 3 is down to software that Google was able to basically provide the same camera hardware without sacrificing anything, because so much of it is done in post. It proves that the Pixel 3's camera, the hardware, is nothing special. It's the same that you'd find on a Galaxy or any other flagship phone, but Google has done such a great job with its HDR Plus algorithms that you can just rely on it to get you the best photos in any situation. Now, there's also a potential downside there, because while the Pixel 3 does offer some of the best photography in any phone, it's also earned a really unfortunate reputation in reliability. Even 6 months later, the Pixel 3 suffers from reliability problems in the camera app is slow to start, and when I press the shutter button, sometimes it just does not capture anything. I have a daughter, and I want to make sure that when I double press the power button to open the camera, it actually opens and I can take a photo reliably, which has meant that over the last few months, I've been turning to my Galaxy S10 and my Huawei P30 Pro as my main phone cameras. Google isn't doing itself any favors by putting only 4 gigabytes of RAM inside both the Pixel 3a and 3a XL. And yeah, I know it would have been strange to put 6 or 8 gigs of RAM in a sub $500 phone, but there are so many unknowns here in terms of reliability that I'm not willing to give them a pass yet. That said, so far the Pixel 3a XL has been really reliable when I open the camera app and I take a photo, and I'm not gonna condemn it yet because of the Pixel 3's problems. I'm gonna have to wait to see whether it plays out the same way. They've had 6 months to fix these problems. I really hope that they don't crop up elsewhere. On the other hand, you're getting a really great software experience here. Google has one of the cleanest Android experiences on the market. It's generally fast and reliable until it isn't. And I really like the gesture system. I'm actually kind of nervous about the changes coming in Android Q, but that's another video for another day. So you get Android Pie out of the box here. It's been generally as performant as the Pixel 3 has, which is fantastic. And you're getting 3 years of platform updates and security patches, which you will not find on basically any other phone, especially in this price range. You're definitely going to see Android S, and you may even see Android T when it's released, because this is being released right before Android Q comes out. So that's awesome news. On the other hand, Google Pixel phones are known to start bogging down after a few months, and I'm really hoping that this isn't the case here. So let's close this out by talking about a few other things of note. The Pixel 3a series does not have waterproofing. That's something else where Google gets to save money. And it doesn't have wireless charging, but it does have that 18-watt fast charging that's found on the Pixel 3. So I'm happy there. It also doesn't have the dual front-facing speakers that you can find on the Pixel 3, but there are stereo speakers. It's just that one is facing you from the earpiece and one's facing down from the bottom of the phone. And the sound quality I found to be pretty good, if not, the same as the Pixel 3. So I'm pretty impressed there. The phone also has some of the best haptics you'll find on any device in the world. And it's definitely the best you'll find on any sub $500 phone. So I'm, again, really happy there. And there's the Titan M security chip inside the phone, which means that the Pixel 3a is among the most secure phones you'll buy. So lots of really good features in here, and the things that Google cut from the 3a series make sense. So who is this phone for? I'm sure a lot of previews are gonna say things like, the 3A and 3A XL are the return of the Nexus. It's Google's taking low-cost phones seriously again. But I just don't think that's true, because the Nexus line was renowned for having really good performance and pretty crummy cameras. On the other hand, the 3A XL has among the best camera you can buy on a phone today, especially in its price range, but it's the software and longevity that's the unknown right now. And it's also worth pointing out that the success of the 3A series hinges on Google's ability to market this phone in areas where the Pixel 3 either isn't available or it's really expensive. So the phone starts at $399 in the US, but we'll have to see what it's priced at in other markets and whether it can compete with the Chinese OEMs that are having such success in India, Brazil, and other developing markets with a huge audience. I'll finish this video this way. The biggest compliment that I can give to the Pixel 3a and 3a XL is that it's basically the same experience as using the Pixel 3. At the same time, that's also potentially the biggest curse. Whether Google can sell this in volume remains to be seen. It's going to be available at Verizon in the US and other carriers around the world, but by and large, this is going to be just a popular unlocked phone. At the same time, the problems that manifested on the Pixel 3 may be a bit more forgivable because this is sub $500. So we'll have to wait until the full review to see whether the problems that we've seen on the Pixel 3 crop up here. But so far, I'm really impressed with this phone. I mean, it's got everything you need, from a great big screen to a rear fingerprint sensor and everything in between. We'll have a full Pixel 3a review coming in the next few weeks. So if you want to see that and all the other videos that we're producing, hit subscribe, like this video. We really appreciate your support and it helps out the channel a lot. My name is Daniel Bader. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.